Let's get started then, mate. So what's this? We're up to episode 5 of Shane and Shaun Shoot the Shit show.
Episode 5. Who would
What's
have thought?
What's our topic for today?
I think we should talk about BSX because it's only a few months away, and yeah, I know you're starting to, and I know it's an event that's close to your heart. Obviously, it's in your backyard and all that sort of stuff, and we know we all love it. Heaps of people love it, and I guess just sort of maybe with the way things are in the world, we need a bit of positivity and something to look forward to, I guess, so, and it's always a lot of fun. We got heaps of stuff has happened over the years. How many years has it actually been going for?
So it started in 2006.
Really?
2006. So that's 16 years so far, I think.
I thought it was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it started in 2006.
2006. Yeah, because I remember. Yeah. Well, yes, because it was before the Beijing Olympics. Because when the high performance team came that time, remember?
Yeah.
That was the first one, I think.
So it must be 15 because 2 years ago we did the Friday the 13th kind of style theme. So yeah, it must be 15 been run so far, and this coming one's the 16th.
Wow, that's awesome.
I know. I never expected it to go past, say, 3 or 4. I thought, that chewing gum's going to lose its flavour and move on to something else.
But yeah, the bubbles of something. Yeah, look, it's definitely evolved. It's been some fun events. But what's really cool is we've only had a couple rain. 16 years, I think maybe 3 rainy events out of the whole lot.
Rainy, and some of them have been torrential, and it wasn't rained out. None of the events have been washed out. We've had, I think the most successful event was the year Alienation sponsored it. It was maybe 2012, and it was the wettest year. So, who'd have thunk? You'd think a lot of people would just stay home and keep their money on them, but
no, they came out.
Maybe it was a good day for money laundering.
Because it was wet outside.
Hey, boom, boom.
That was, boom, boom. Yeah. And that was, I remember poor Luke Medill flew down for the day and went out in the first round. Wade Worth
not quite the first round, but yeah, he got knocked out by Wade. Very, very slippery, and he didn't even bring a change of clothes.
No, I know, yeah. Poor bugger. Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, Luke used to, when he was actively riding and stuff, he used to always come down and support the event. It was really cool of him to fly down or whatever and come and support the event. And I think he won it a couple of times.
Yeah, quite a few times. I think it would have been at least 3 or 4.
Yeah, and it was good of him to support the event. So yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah. I've been on the mic for a few years. Yeah, which is,
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, is it? It must be.
No, it's a good thing. Nah,
it's not something you normally would do. Like, it's not like you rock up to race meetings doing commentary. It's, I think the first time you did it, was it Cameron Murray threw a microphone in your hand and then found Travo and threw a microphone in his and said, "Go for your life, boys."
And we actually didn't even know each other. I didn't even know Trav. Which, I mean, it's kind of a good way to start a friendship because, we've become pretty good friends and mates and raced each other, ridden together, drank Captain Morgan together. But it was kind of, Cam goes, you're commentating. And I was like, what? No, you're commentating. And you can't say no to Cam. Like, there's no, nah, but sorry, I'm just here to watch. No, you're commentating. So, it's been good. And I guess I'm a 1-year wonder. I get on the mic once a year and make it up as I go along. People say it's fun. I do a few accents and laugh, and definitely I know at the end of the day, like, my voice is done. Like, but if it's that little bit contributing to the whole event, I like to say that I'm part of a cog in the massive machine, which is called BSX, because you and Glenn and Ursula and you guys do so much behind the scenes leading up, on the day, and even after. So it's definitely relies on good volunteers, all volunteers, and everybody puts in on the day, and it's always well run, a lot of fun. We have a lot of laughs.
We do have a very small crew, so there's a lot of pressure at various times on that crew. Trying to generate um, sponsorship, or we call it partnership, because we like to take it that one step further.
Yeah.
And quite often we get a lot of support based on the history of the event and the purpose of the event, which is to raise money for the Royal Children's Hospital here in Melbourne. And so it's been amazing having everyone from, say, Foster's group to, Alienation, so people within and outside of the BMX industry. Battery energy drink, which probably doesn't even exist anymore, but they were a big sponsor one year. And, we've had personalities get involved, like even Cadell Evans donated a jersey, which we managed to raise a lot of money from, who has nothing to do with BMX. And
he did race BMX as a kid, though, does it? I'm pretty sure.
well, yeah, but now.
Yeah. Now,
much.
yeah.
Who else? Russell Morris, who sung The Real Thing, a bit of an Australian music icon, signed a guitar for us, and that was auctioned off. Scott Brightop signed a whole bunch of things for us back in the day as well, and so we made a fair bit of money out of that. Joe Kidd signed Joe Kidd videos and things.
And
sorry, I should say DVDs.
DVDs, and I mean, Caroline signed a couple of her Olympic jerseys.
Actually, yeah, that was pretty amazing too.
Yeah.
So she brought I think 3 jerseys.
Three.
And between those 3 jerseys, we raised about $2,000. So getting support from the riders as well. She wasn't going to make any money out of it, but when she came, it was just a fun day for her, and she really got involved, which was good.
Yeah, and Monster headphones was the same year, which was big. Yeah, big big partnership there.
Yeah,
a lot of people are excited about their products, and it works both ways. They get exposure, they help out an amazing event, and it's a kind of a win-win for sure.
Yeah, so I still need to do a fair bit of work trying to get some more partners involved. We have some various ideas of how BSX might run based on COVID restrictions, and we'll probably announce them as time goes on. It's not super important for us to say how it's going to be run right now, because times are going to be changing from week to week or month to month. It would be nice to think that we could run it as a full BSX as we have every other year, uninterrupted. We've had bushfires up here, and we still managed to sneak BSX events in, and so we plan to do as much as we can. If we can't run the event on the day, we'll still have fundraising, but it's our probably a driving force is to think, okay, we're going to have an event on the 11th of January next year, and if we have to pare it back, we'll pare it back, but we'll make sure that we get as much people up here having fun on their bikes as we can.
Yeah, and that's always the main game, is just to have a really relaxed day, lots of fun, raise money, catch up with friends. I mean, and because it's the same time as Track Attack, every year we hold it, you get to catch up with people from interstate. And I mean, used to always love the guys from NT, the Jingly Club especially, and me and Travo were always trying to score a Jingly Club jersey, because they were really, really cool, and they always promised. And they were like, if you come up and commentate our state series or whatever it was, we'll give you a jersey and stuff. Like, it's one of those things that we probably should have done, I guess, looking back. But
they were big supporters of the event. I remember they bought a box truck full of bikes and a bus full of riders. They were really 100%. Supportive in the first probably 10 years of the event.
They were, and they had a lot of fun, and they brought a lot of. I mean, everybody brings really good energy, but they just, they were just so happy to be down here and having a heap of fun and riding BMX. And I think for me also is, I always love the T-shirts. Obviously, every year you have a different design, and that also goes to the proceeds to the Royal Children's. And it's always, I wonder what design they're going to have this year. And like I've pretty much, I think I don't have one from the first year, sadly, but I've pretty much got one from each one thereon. And I just love them. I still wear them. I mean, some of them are starting to get a bit tatty or whatever, a few old, but love them. And it's just, it has some, Craig from Dirt Designs, and now we've got, Glenn from Firebird,
And
supporting us.
Melissa.
And Melissa, Melissa. Yeah. And great designs. And I think that's part of it, part of the cool T-shirts. And it's always, I just love wearing them during the year. And it's cool. I used to love the little.
It's nice to be involved in the whole concept and ideas process, and then pass it over to the guys at Firebird. They really they know the kind of imagery that we're looking for very quickly, and come up with designs that we barely have to review. We might shift a logo around just to make sure people know that it's, say, Answer S Squared, like on your T-shirt, the major sponsors. But coming up with a new thing every year is getting harder and harder. Like this year, I really didn't have much of a concept. I just sent a whole bunch of notes to Melissa, and she said, "Yep, we're on it." So fingers crossed, it'll be just as cool as the last few.
Yeah, and I kind of like this one too. I don't know if people can see it, but it's kind of got a bit of a Bob Harrow feel to it. So I kind of a bit of an old school feel. Growing up, BMX action, the Bob Harrow cartoons, and all that sort of stuff. I guess even Radical Rick and BMX Plus. So I kind of like that kind of racy cartoon sort of thing, So, but it's definitely one of those things. So, and it was always good. It is always good to see a representative from the Royal Children's Hospital come and also support the event and come and check it out. And they always are very, very impressed. It's good to see them smile and knowing what we're doing is actually making a difference.
Yeah. I think over the years we've managed to raise $65,000. I'm sure there's much easier ways to raise that kind of money, because with a lot less effort. Because just so much work, so much labour. I know Glenn Main has spent hours, driving backwards and forwards, but also, he sort of was named the Dirt Fairy, and I think Shovel God was promoted to last year. The guy just goes above and beyond. And just, works slaves away. I don't pay him. I might give him a V from time to time, and it puts a smile on his face, but that's very rare occurrence. He doesn't say much, but he does a whole lot behind the scenes. And it's like that with everybody that's involved. Everyone really puts in an effort and tries to make the event something a little bit different to what people are used to.
Yeah, and I guess Ronnie Guys too was the guru, and I think he passed the torch to Glenn, and Glenn's just gone with it and ran with it, and the track is always amazing, and I guess I've actually got the courage up in the last few years to actually ride in the event myself, because I was always, I just need to commentate. And it was, we've got two. Why don't you just have a crack? And it's so much fun. I kind of wish I'd done it earlier, but I just kind of always took, I'm commentating, I need to just focus on that. But
the track can be intimidating. It's not like massive or anything. It's very different to a BMX track. So, the thought of coming off a starting hill, doing two pedals, and then you're straight into a jump can be a bit daunting to some people, especially the way we've shaped the jumps over time, where they looked a lot nastier than they actually were. And they're more like a dirt jump, say, than a race jump. They're built specifically to wash your speed off a little bit into corners and that sort of thing, just so you're not going to go too fast and hurt yourself. You probably get 40 Ks or 45 Ks maybe at top speed on a BMX track, but here you'd be lucky to do 25, 30. So it's a bit more forgiving, but since it's such a tight track, it can also be quite intense.
Yeah, and I guess too, when we shifted for a couple of years to BSX 2.0, the track was a completely different layout, a bit more space, and it was, jumps were a bit more rounded and stuff like that. So that was a good experience, but I guess BSX is back at the home of BSX. And
So just getting into that a little bit, we did move to Marcus's place. I couldn't really put it any more precisely than to say that we kind of pushed it on him a little bit. He wanted to build a he wanted to build a track for his kids to train on, so it was more like a racetrack. And then said, hey, how about we run it at your place? You know, you're better equipped. You've got pretty much everything on site. You can have parking without interrupting traffic, like up here. You know, you can't park on the edge of the road, that sort of thing. So much bigger property. I think it was 20 acres maybe.
Yeah.
And he was quite open to the thought. And then so we changed his track a little bit to make it kind of a bit BSXy up until past the first corner, where it had a split first straight, split first corner, and then it opened up. So it changed the aspect of the event, where BSX traditionally was you had a separate lane and you couldn't cross. We did mix it up a little bit and say in a time trial you can sort of cross and do your own thing. 1 year, I think it was, but pretty much you stick to your lane. We came back here this year.
This year. Yes.
Came back here in 2020 because Marcus was going to extend his house. So it was going to be extended towards the track. So it was going to be a construction zone. I do remember a lot of people asking, you know, what's going on? You know, there must be some kind of conspiracy. Are they having a falling out or something? But it was nothing along those lines. Marcus just thought it would be safer to hold it here and we'd have more room. And one of the biggest reasons for moving across his place in the first place was we'd basically outgrown this space because we're only on an acre, and like I said, it's a residential area, and parking just sort of spills across maybe 3 or 4 different residences that are close by. And it gets a bit out of control. So we never had that problem with Marcus's, but now, like this year, we decided to split it into blocks, which meant that parking was a little bit easier. The numbers weren't massive. I guess it being an Olympic year, we have that kind of dip in entries, and that's fine. You know, we still hold the event, but I think moving forward, we're going to stay here, and that's just basically because it's easier for me as a host to say, let's have a club ride in a couple of weeks. But when it's somebody else's property, you've got to kind of work with their schedule. So we've been doing a lot more sort of thinking about, you know, how we can make BSX still relevant today and keep people interested. And because it's run as a club, have more club sessions and that sort of thing. Obviously, COVID's kind of screwed us up a little bit, but you might see that I've been pushing forward. It was always my plan to have the track updated by about this time of the year.
Always, yeah. Perfect time.
So we could all get together and have plenty of ride sessions in the lead up to the event, and spend less time digging and more time riding, because it just seems like pretty much all of our summer and definitely the Christmas break just gets eaten up by spending time in the backyard, getting everything dug and looking good, and getting all the event organised. So hopefully, you know, when Melbourne comes out of the restrictions and they're allowed to travel, we'll have ride sessions. Fingers crossed it'll be in 2 weeks, but Glenn and I always joke about it being in 2024. It seems like it's endless, and you know, it's really different not catching up with Glenn every Saturday for a ride, either here or down at a track somewhere.
Park Orchards, or I mean, that's the thing. Hopefully, like in 2 weeks, you or the guys down in Melbourne will get a bit more breathing space and maybe even be able to travel just that little bit more. And some clubs can open their tracks, even not for training, but even just some recreational riding like I have up here in Bendigo. I mean, sorry guys, but But on saying about the track change, I mean, we should give a shout out to Dave and Max. You know.
Yeah, for sure. So Dave and Max from Dig Solutions, or Track Solutions, they're also known as. They came on as a sponsor, and I was literally talking to David about getting an excavator up here and just moving some dirt. So we got quite a few piles of dirt that were dumped here with the intentions of building the track up. But the whole thing evolved. So when I thought I was going to be moving dirt and shaping it by hand, David and Max and I sort of put our heads together and said, okay, this needs to be made faster by, changing the shape. So Max and I kind of discussed the concepts and then tell David, and he'd go off and do it almost all by the excavator. So shaping the jump, packing it in. So then it's just a little bit of finessing with Max, and they've done a great job so far. The track's over half done. That's not to say that the work that was done previously by everybody else, I don't appreciate it, because obviously I do, and it's just overwhelming the amount of time people have spent in the backyard trying to get the track to a condition where it's rideable. But it's just so much easier. The work they've done in 2 sessions we couldn't do in 2 years. So.
The thing is also, as a guy that has worked on your track, ridden your track, and even owned a track, there's nothing better than someone sometimes coming along with a different perspective and different ideas to enhance your track and make it evolve. And there's nothing better than having your track evolve and to make it better. We're always going, oh, well, I wouldn't mind doing that, or I wouldn't mind doing that. And yeah, it sometimes does take work, but if you can, like, I think I only had machinery once in the whole time that I had my backyard track, when you were there with Ray with the Bobcat, and it was amazing. Like, boom, you moved all the dirt from out the front of my place, put it in the backyard. You had some ideas, made a hip jump, etc. And I was like, wow, all the years of just wheelbarrows. And I see that with you now, with seeing the edit you made from the work they did yesterday, and you're like, it's amazing what the right people with the right equipment can do. And of course, we'll still be out there with shovels and rakes and packers and all that, because that's just part of the process. But nothing wrong with having your track evolve. That's 100%. We all change as riders. It helps us as a rider to, challenge ourselves. And I guess if, we come to BSX and people turn up, year after year, and the track's slightly different, I guess it makes people excited. Hey, there's a cat. Yay. Yeah, we got a streaker. Yeah, so I think that's actually really good, because, people turn up and go, oh, wow. And it kind of, I guess, gives a bit of parity too, because, people come from interstate and they go, oh, you guys ride this track all the time. But, hang on a minute. We've changed it. We're all still getting our heads around it too. So don't think there's, except for you, but that's okay. Because you're the
well,
king.
Obviously I built this track in the first place for myself. What year was it? 2004 I bought the place. 2005 we started digging, after the renter moved out. And the whole idea was tracks were getting more technical, and I'm from the old school and through the mid-school stuff, and tracks were just getting more and more technical. And I thought, well, I need to become more technical, and I have no control over how tracks are built. So I'd rather buy my own property and build my own jumps and share it with friends, sort of thing. So with this one, I decided I want to pedal less and I want to flow more. So the jumps have got to be bigger. The berms have got to handle speed. I thought I'd have to build bigger berms, and I was expecting to put retainer walls in and all that sort of stuff. But Max said, well, how about we just elevate the entry, so it's like you land into a berm, and we, instead of making the berms taller, we shape them out so that you're carving them more. And so we were able to do more with less, basically.
100%.
So instead of using all of the dirt that I have piled around the track, we're going to have leftover dirt. And I said, hey, Max, what about we make some dirt jumps?
Yeah, and I just remember also, too, is in years we would be sitting there because we needed dirt, and we'd be taking it from places and, sneaking bits from the back of corners, carving them out so we could put, stuff other places. But now with all that dirt, and I guess, as you say, maximizing what you had there and making it even more efficient. But no, I'm definitely looking forward to it. But I guess, it's hard to pinpoint over 16 years of, do you have any favorite moments, fun things? I guess it was probably the first time when you actually won your own event. That was pretty cool. We all went a bit spastic for you. It was cool actually all the years, because you were always so tired, and come to race day and the weeks and weeks of pre-work, not pre-workout, but pre-work of you putting in and the late nights. I even know the night before BSX, you're up till at least 1 o'clock in the morning, still making sure all the auctions, the raffle items are all sorted and categorized, and everybody's running around the lounge room at your house all fever. It's a bit like the night before Christmas. And then you turn up, put your gear on, put your helmet on, and then you got to turn your race face on. I mean, you do thing, but I can tell it's such a huge day. And then I remember the first year you won, and it's like it was such a good thing for you to actually. And actually, I think, was that with you and me?
I think you got second that year.
I got second. And that was funny because I was in that race with you and I kind of stuffed up on the first corner. And then you were ahead and I'm like, yo, he's going to win. Hang on. I'm actually in this race too. Like, I was so happy for you and I kind of forgot that I was actually in the race with you. Yeah, now that was my famous or infamous meeting up with Craig Wally in the last corner, and he's kind of bounced off me. That was kind of funny, that actually. That was a few iconic shots from that. But yeah, it was actually super, super cool to see you actually win and take out the event in the, was it over 30s or over 40s?
45 and over. So we originally created that class only a few years ago because I was talking to Harry Leary, who was here, and we did an interview and a few other things, and he said he was interested in coming back and competing for the event. And Jamie Hales goes, oh, I'd like to do it again, because he came to our first BSX, and I think he might have got second, maybe.
Yeah.
Third. And he said, I'd like to do it again, but 30 plus class is a bit too fast for me. So there was a whole bunch of guys. I think even Bruce Morris said, if you run a 45 plus class, I'll come and do it. But none of them did. But we still had a pretty well supported class, and it was a fun bunch of guys, especially when you opened up the track at Marcus's and took some of the split corners away and gave Wally a chance to have a crack. He loves a corner.
He does love a corner. We've all felt the Wally love in a corner over the years, haven't we?
But I don't know if winning made any of the events more memorable. I think.
Oh no, definitely not. It's just been there.
Yeah.
It's just been
right.
there. And
there's been some times where I just felt like a zombie all day long and couldn't get my mojo going.
Mojo on. Yeah.
But I still have fun riding the track before and after the event. But it's just nice to sort of give everyone else a chance to have a go and hold a race and try to make a fun day for everybody.
I think for me, one of the good memories or the things I really enjoy is, and you probably back me on this, is, the Anderson family, Simon, Aisha, and they when they come, they race, and, Simon normally, there I go again. Simon.
Don't forget Tess, because Tess has been a volunteer a lot.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And sorry. And Tess also, she's a huge volunteer, and her and Amy always seem to have fun at the front gate, and also Amy Mainglen's better half. The thing is, though, always like Simon's, we all know how good Simon is as a rider, and he normally does take out the 30 plus or 45 plus class. He's just a class act. And, he makes it look so easy. He could ride a tricycle and still beat us. I just love the fact and the good-heartedness of that family is they give their winnings back. They buy other people's number plates, to donate back to the cause. And it's such a beautiful gesture. And I think that's one of the many beautiful stories or great stories that come out of BSX.
Well, they definitely get the whole concept. And it's great to get the support of them and many others like them.
Yeah, 100%.
You'll get a Levi Collins who'll also do the same sort of thing. I think he might save enough money to get back to Shepparton for fuel, but then he'll pretty much donate the rest of it back.
100%. Yeah. That's just one of the many. Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint just one of the many stories. I mean, every year it's just amazing. And like we've had high jump competitions which have been crazy. We've had style. I think last year we had a style whip comp, and it's always been a lot of fun. And we've had some crazy crashes. We've had some funny, guys that have lost the race, like in the last corner, slipping a pedal, and the crowd, like when we're watching the finals, the crowd always goes in just crazy nuts,
And it's not by design either, but I think the track has always been able to amplify the skill level of a rider. It's like you'll go to a racetrack and it's a completely different kettle of fish. You come here, it's almost like the magnifying glasses on you and everyone's watching you, and you can see some riders who you wouldn't expect would be quite intimidated by a jump, and they might decide to manual it or even pump it instead of jump it. And the way they turn, they might struggle with the tight turns because they try to use a racetrack line, and it's completely different. But it's very interesting the way, some people elevate on this kind of track, because it takes that probably potentially the power element out of a race, or the physical element of, banging bars.
Yeah.
So it's almost a different outcome. I mean, you'll still get, your cream rising to the top, but one person washes out and it changes the whole dynamic of the event.
It's nearly a bit, you get that kind of, I know it's kind of funny, you get that Coliseum feel, the crowd is around it, and, you're right there, you feel the action, you feel the track move. Like when I'm commentating, you can feel the guys hit the corners, and you actually feel the berms move and all that sort of stuff. It's just so awesome. And I guess being a commentator, you can go close to the track, and you're right in the thick of it, interview the guys. It's so much fun, like I'm lucky I kind of get a really good firsthand, look at what's going on and talking about it. And just, the vibe is always awesome. It's just, it never ceases to amaze me that, the whole vibe, everybody, it's just so good. Real positive.
Especially the closer you get to the finals, but it's always all the way from practice. If you're having a practice run, and we have pretty big practice sessions, they might be 2 hours long, and a lot of times I've been questioned, why do you have the practice session so long? But we get a lot of people here. We only got awards for the top 4. We've got very small number of classes, so I think it was up to 12 boys had 45 riders.
They did, yeah.
So if we only give them, say, half an hour of practice, it seems like very little value. So we see the value in someone coming here and having a fun session on the track, and the racing as a bonus. So it's a little bit different thought, and it's probably just because it's an event run by riders for riders. Every concept, everything we come up with is a rider-based decision. So we do things a little bit differently, but as riders, we think it makes it for a more exciting event and a lot more fun. And fun's always key. I mean, sure, the primary activity is the fundraising, but it's also having a good time on the bike for the day.
100%. Like it is an absolute blast. I love it. And we've had a lot of really cool pros. We've had overseas guys. Obviously, Caroline. We've had the two French guys, the twins.
Oh
yeah, They killed it. They were so good. I guess Barry Nobles. We've had Bryce Hocking, Nick College, College, yeah, who's now he's an LAPD policeman now. Not that that's that important, but he was a super nice guy. We've had awesome riders being supportive, and I mean we all had a lot of. There was always crowd favorites. There's always people like Bodie Turner or Tommy Sinmar or Kyle Horton or Levi Collins. There was always definitely Wadey Turner. A lot of people yell out for Wadey Turner. There's always definitely people's favorites. People have got different nicknames over the years. Me and Travo have given people different nicknames over the years. And this year I commentated with Brian Alexander, which was a massive hoot. And he comes from a broadcasting background. He works in radio, so he taught me a lot of things. He was so professional, but he had a lot of fun, and he was losing his mind. Like he was just seeing things, and
he was getting right into it. I think it might have been his first event, but I think he may have actually come a lot earlier in the piece and had a one day where he had a ride. So
Yeah,
it's his first event for a while, but he was getting right into it. There was a market on in Whittlesea that he stopped off early and grabbed a couple of novelty prizes that he gave away.
yep,
So, it's good that everyone sort of gets into the whole swing of things. I mean, there might be
yep.
some people leaving because they had a different picture of what they thought the event was going to be. I think some people don't quite understand what we're doing, but most people get it, and most people go home with a smile, and that's always the aim.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, it's so much fun. And there is a little bit of a clubbers come down after the event. You sort of have that little bit of a, and I always do like taking the day off after it also, just to sort of
Yeah,
get my faculties back together. And yeah, it's a huge thing, but definitely you go home with a smile like this big and you just go, man, that was awesome. And then you go, I can't wait for the next one already, you know, and you're like, no, don't talk like that. I just need at least a week off. Like, yeah, but and it's so much fun. And yeah, I just love it. And Cam Murray always says it's his favorite race meeting of the year. And you do actually have people when we go around to the pit tents, and we do talk to them on the day. Like, people just randomly start talking to people while we're giving out stickers, or telling them to buy raffle tickets or whatever, or please can you buy some raffle tickets. And yeah, people just, they love it. It's so relaxed. And I guess another cool thing too is the Kinglake West CFA. They always turn up and cook breakfast, and the egg and bacons are just to die for. I probably eat way too many during the day. And
so
it's a good connection
there's
with them too.
yeah, exactly. And that's what I was about to mention. They're the only people that have catered at the event ever since we started.
Yeah,
And the whole idea was to sort of keep the money in the community. So we don't only donate to the Children's Hospital, they take 100% of their earnings back and spend it on equipment at
yeah,
the local fire brigade, which is much needed up here. Um, but also, there's people that have supported the event right from the start, not just some of the people I've already mentioned, but Gary Brooks from ECI, he's been a major sponsor, and he also helps a little bit with direction. Like, if he picks up on something that he thinks, we could improve, he's quite happy to voice his
tell
opinion,
us.
and he helps anywhere he possibly can. So
Oh yeah, 100%.
his support doesn't go unnoticed. And the Hepburn family with Air Show, who supply
Oh yeah,
music and all that sort
the
of stuff.
microphones.
Microphones, that's right. They've always been supported, even though I don't know if they even benefit apart from it just giving them warm and fuzzies, because their business is completely not aligned with BMX anymore.
Yeah,
But it's great to keep them involved and catch up with them, even if it is just the once or
one
twice a year when
person.
they're dropping stuff off and picking it up. But yeah, it's really good that those guys have been involved all these years.
And yeah, and it's good too. I mean, I've noticed over the years, and we've been doing the webcam coverage and the Facebook Live, and got people from all around the world. Like, I've had people in Canada and New Zealand and a few other places that have been watching the event live, and give them a shout out, and they're like, oh, if you're watching this, type something and I'll give you a shout out. And it got some cool reactions from different people all over the world, and that's cool. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
I must admit, we do have some more success some years than others with the live webcam, and that could be because of the heat, with the webcam dropping out. It could be this year we struggled a little bit because all the licensing issues with the music that was playing in the background. So
That's right. Yeah.
next year we may not have any music at all, but at least we'll be able to refer back to the video footage, and we might add a few more cameras. We'll see if we can improve that just for the people that can't make it. But that's always been a part of BSX. We've always had a live stream, whether or not it's been entirely watchable. I know that people say that they'll turn it on while they're at work and listen to it. So it's good one way or the other as a visual or an audio sort of
And
medium.
my beautiful voice keeps them awake at work. No, I'm just kidding.
People need something, don't they?
They do, yeah. Oh my God, it's that Sean Collins' voice. No, I'm glad at least they're listening. At least,
Yeah.
And also in the last few years, you've had also after the event, you've been able to bid on some of the prizes also. So some people can't get there and they want to still purchase raffle tickets or bid on items, which has always been a great option for people that maybe can't get the time off or et cetera, et cetera. It still gives them a chance to contribute to the overall figure of the fundraiser.
Yeah.
So I find that
that's starting to become an all year thing now. Like we've got a eBay store where we're selling this year's t-shirts, and I've got a whole bunch of previous 2 or maybe even 3 years t-shirts which I need to add to the collection, so people can purchase those as well. And there's some leftover product which normally we would just hold off and use them as raffle prizes for the following year. But I think I'll put them up on eBay, and if someone could use them between now and then, it'd be awesome. So obviously 100% of the profits goes to the Children's Hospital. Anything we hold on to from year to year is just to help us for any upcoming costs involved in running the event. It's not a cheap event. I think I sat down and worked out it probably costs us $4,500 to run. And you just wouldn't expect it, but all the rentals and the costs, and we do purchase some items so that we could auction them off to we get good discounts and that sort of thing, but there are costs involved: toilet hire, just being a club, there's ongoing costs.
I do remember. Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry. No. I just remember also this year with the older T-shirts and that we were also donating that to the wildlife fund, also because of the current the bushfires.
That was with. So we've got older T-shirts, which are the dirt design T-shirts, which we normally sell for about $10, but they're just bits and pieces. So I'm not likely to put them up on eBay.
No,
it's just hard to manage.
Oh no, I was just brought that up as it was one of the great things that we did on the day,
but
and
that
let
was
people know.
An initiative that Glenn wanted to run with, and obviously a great cause. So I asked him to pick which one, because there's quite a few wildlife charities that sort of help. And he did have a specific one. I think it might have been Wildlife Victoria.
That was it. Yep.
Yeah. Just because the way money was being funneling through all the bushfires are up in New South Wales, and I think there was some down here as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, Gippsland.
It was New South Wales that was benefiting most, so he wanted to make sure that Wildlife Victoria also, got some funding. And
100%, yeah.
So we're very community oriented, and want to make sure that we do our thing for the community as a wider community, not just what all goes on here in Kinglake.
Because BMXs are awesome people.
That's right.
We are.
And BSX is a good example of that. The kind of money we've managed to raise over these years. Obviously, there's been some costs involved, like I said earlier, but we still managed to make money each and every year. I think our biggest year might have been $10,400 donation to the Children's Hospital. This year it was $7,000, so it's still quite a lot of money. And if you were at the event, you would have thought there were less people there. So for us to make that kind of money is outstanding.
Yeah, it was. It's just always good, and like you say, people go home with a smile. And whether you buy one raffle ticket or 100 raffle tickets, like Derek Harris used to do, he was the king of the raffle tickets. It was so. It doesn't matter, that even the smallest little bit helps. I think people think, but if you buy like 5 raffle tickets or whatever, and you can, and then there's the silent auctions, which over the years, I've won some amazing things. Even with the silent auctions, I love it. And it all goes. It's all part of the greater picture. Every little bit helps. When you come in the gate, your entry, the food that you buy, the raffle tickets you buy. It's even the number, even if you race and you get your number plate, you can buy your number plate. That all goes back into the thing that we're trying to do. And, no matter, everybody has the ability and are having the ability to make a contribution to this wonderful event. Some people probably don't think that, but yeah, every little bit that you do, even just turning up, is part of it, and gives us, more people that come, the more inspired we become, and we keep pushing on. Would hate to think that people didn't want to come, but you definitely see everybody's just so pumped,
Yeah.
and it's great. And it just keeps evolving. It's very organic. Every year is different. You could never say.
Yeah, exactly. And we do have plans to change next year. If we were to run it as a full event, which still obviously not sure yet, Glenn suggested that we have pro first. And the reason behind that is it's a very technical event and you have to really be on your feet to keep up with everything that's going on. So we initially split the day into 2 halves so that I could manage half a day and Glenn could manage the other half of the day. But it gets a bit unfair because he manages the first half of the day and he's putting out fires the whole time. And by the time he gets to a race, he's knackered. And he's set in place systems that just sort of work. And I don't have to do as much work as him. So he said, right, I've been doing all this work. It's your turn. So I want my bracket to go first, which is pro men, pro women, and 30 plus. And then that way you can do all the running around this year, which I'm happy to do. And then he gets to relax in the afternoon. So it'd be nice to turn up to an event where Glenn actually gets to be a bit more relaxed. I think maybe I overlooked that, and that's just what we do. We look after each other and make sure that we keep it simple for everyone else.
And it's even, he always gives 110%, and he does so much behind the scenes. And it's even when I'm not trying to get away from BSX, but it's even us as a team profile. We'll go away or whatever, and he just makes everything run so good, whether it's organization of putting up tents to even how to pack the van. It's Glenn main efficiency, and that's just what he's good at. He's just good at it. And and I guess you see that on the BSX day. He turns up, boom, here's your sheets. Oh, okay, cool. For like when I need to commentate, or and he even comes up, hey, do you need a bottle of water? And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, man. And but you're running around doing 800 other million things, and I actually give a shout out to my daughter. Even she comes and helps me, and she's my little 2IC or whatever, and she helps me out. And hopefully that takes a little bit of a workload off Glenn, holds on my moto sheets, blah, 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 and that. But he does an amazing job. And then obviously with the whole Dirt Fairy Shovel God thing on top of that. And it was really nice to see you do that secret little award for him, and got the Vans grips for him and the little thank you. And yeah, definitely, I reckon it definitely hit his soft spot. We all know he doesn't say much, and he's he doesn't emote too well sometimes, unless he's got a broken rib. But
that's more of an emotion.
Yeah. So it was good to see him. Yeah, he was touched, and it was good. And we're forever grateful for him, and like we said, all the other people that make it what it is, including yourself. But yeah, I love it, and there's so many good times. I mean, like I said, I drove up one year. I had a bit of a hole in my radiator, and me and Kens were pulling over, and there was water running down one of the drains, and we're like filling up my radiator. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people out there with those kind of stories, getting to BSX or whatever. And
yeah, especially on some of the foggy days, BSX or Kinglake in the morning in the middle of summer can be quite foggy. I don't know how that works, but a lot of people are saying they missed signs and drove up past and still managed to get here on time. And
yeah, it's good. And that's what I mean. It's nearly like it's a bit of an adventure to get up there, and it is without sounding cliche, it is actually a beautiful part of the world. And there's definitely a really good vibe, whether it's the trees and the fresh air and, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's kind of even weird seeing like planes flying over, but probably won't have that issue this year. Not many planes are flying. Well, hopefully there is more planes flying, but yeah, it's just, I guess even you could, I think if you had it somewhere else, I don't think it would have the same ambience.
Yeah, and I think having it at Marcus's at BSX 2.0 kind of pointed that out. While it was a bigger property and everything might have run a little bit smoother, having everything all sort of in the one place, what it meant was that people were spread further apart from each other, and it sort of created little pockets and little tiny sort of sub-communities around the track, and no one really intermingled. But here you get no choice. You're rubbing shoulders with each other. It's much tighter area, and you get a lot more of that community feel.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's what I get, and we can mingle in. And it was, I guess, at Marcus's, especially I think the second year, it was more like the crowd was spread out, kind of like how are at a race meeting.
Yeah,
Their pit tents, and it was kind of like a wall of pit tents. But that's okay. Like I say, the event's evolving. We go, okay, that was what happened. We need to go back to the drawing board, and I guess that's the beauty of, well, now we've got the back to the home that home of BSX, and like you said too, mega grateful to Marcus. I mean, opening up his property and all that sort of stuff. It was awesome. It was awesome having it there, and it's a fun place to ride. I can't wait to go back there and ride. At some stage. Shout out to Marcus. Hey man, text me. But yeah, I guess being on like everybody close, just everybody talks and interacts and hangs out, and there's more of that. I guess with society these days, a lot of people seem to just sort of stick in their own little bubbles, I guess, and a little bit of head down on the phone. But with BSX, where it is at your place, everybody sort of chats and hangs out and goes through everybody else's tent, which is cool.
And the thing is, you notice a whole lot more people going through the merchandise and auctions tent as well here than what they did at Marcus's. Like I said, they're spread out pretty far and kind of stuck to themselves. But here, the way we sort of set it up, you got the barbecue, and right next to that's merchandise and everything else. So it's all very centralized, and it's hard to miss. And you want to get up and stretch your legs. It's a quick walk. Still with me, Shaun? Your screen's frozen. Hello? Hello?
I've just got the big sexy picture of you.
Doesn't get any better than that.
I know. How do I get it back? How do we get your sexy picture back of you? Active now. Where's the video gone?
I'm still here.
I can't see you. You can't see me, can you?
Yeah, I can see you.
Oh, there we go.
If I can see you and I can see me, then we should be able to record.
Yeah. All right. So you're gonna have to edit it.
Yeah, that's all right.
So you were saying before we were rudely interrupted by my battery going flat because I'm such a rookie, but well, not so much because I've got a backup phone, my old iPhone. But sorry, unprofessional. Show 5 was bound to happen. Something was going to go wrong technically, but
it's all right. It's not like we're paid.
No, we should. No, we shouldn't. No, so
I'll pay you. You can pay me. We can say we're professionals.
And you can pay me in coffee or something. I don't know, because I do love a coffee. But I guess maybe that's the BMX gods telling us to maybe wind it up.
Yeah, I think it's saying we've spoke too much. But I do remember you saying you had a prop to show off. So maybe we'll have a quick look at that.
Yeah, it's just a T-shirt. I remember me and Trav. It was just a crazy cool day, and I remember actually I got a T-shirt. I went around and asked all the riders that were there that day, just if they wanted to sign this. It was 2016, obviously. And Hayden Fletcher, Jamie Hales, they all signed it. Brandon Tahiko, all sorts of people. Gorak, we all love Gorak. The Ninja. So Tommy Sinmar, all like Bodie Turner, Ando, Craig Austin. So just everybody that was there, just signed the T-shirt. And that's just the sort of vibe, go up and say, hey, can you sign this T-shirt for me? you know, and I guess for me, it's just a bit of a memento also, just to sort of hang on to and look back and say, oh, you know, we had an event, BSX, and these were all the cool cats that came along and had a good time. You know, Josh Jolly's there. There's heaps of people. It was just, that's kind of one of the memories I hang on to, this T-shirt, all the good people that we've had fun with on a day in the sun in Kinglake, raising money for the
Or in the
Royal
rain.
Children's Hospital, or the rain. Like I said, it's been good. Touch wood, touch my coffee table, but it's been good. You know, really, what, three events out of the 16, we've had a little bit of rain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, but no, thanks for that chat. That was good. That was some good memories. You know, like, I'm even more excited now for this year or next year.
Well,
Sorry.
obviously, before your phone decided to give up the ghost, I think it was getting bored with our stories. We probably had a
Nah,
whole lot
never.
more we probably had a whole lot more to talk about, and we might again once we kind of get a clearer picture of how BSX will be run. It's probably a fairly good medium to share with people.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely make plans. Save up your spare cash. Start filling up those piggy banks because we're planning on having some pretty cool stuff for auction at minimum.
Yep.
We will have a fundraiser and we will have ride sessions. Whether or not those ride sessions happen on the day is kind of up to the gods, but we'll do the best we can to get people up and having a ride.
Awesome.
Obviously, the track should be well and truly ready by then. It's coming along quite well and very quickly.
Check out the edit. Check out Shane's edit of the new changes.
So you can either check them out on my own Facebook and Instagram. Just look for Shane Jenkins, or I'll make sure they're all posted up on the BSX Inc. Facebook and Instagram page as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because you don't have enough to do in your life as it is. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, you know. But hey, we love you and we appreciate what you do, my friend. 100%. 100%.
All right.
But
I
yeah.
guess that was another
Sayonara.
sweet little chat. Thank you very much for having a bit of a chin wag.
As always, shoot the shit. Cool. And thanks to everybody that's watching the show, our little thing here, and also getting a few comments. I've even got people from my work who are not BMX people that are actually saying it's a lot of fun to watch. So, and it was actually funny seeing Glenn Surridge. We all know Glenn Surridge. He's watching us on the big TV, his big TV at home. He's sending me pictures on Snapchat. I'm like, oh my God, I'm on this huge TV. But he said he's loving it too. So yeah, shout out to you, Glenn. Thanks for watching, and everybody else in TV land or YouTube land or whatever you want to call it, social media land. Thanks for supporting us, and we'll keep bringing them as long as people keep watching.
Yeah.
Cool.
All
So
right.
thanks
Well,
again, Shane.
no worries. I'm going to go outside and do a little bit of digging and have a ride for this afternoon. I think my muscles have finally said it's okay to go for a ride. I've been a bit stiff after being out there all day yesterday.
Yeah, but it's a good feeling though, isn't it, brother?
Oh yeah, yeah. At least I know I've worked when I've worn myself to the bone.
We've got to get rid of our COVID bodies.
It's going to take more than the time that I've been locked up to get rid of that, I think.
Oh no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. We'll get the slim kingpin back. Don't you worry. It's all good. But anyway, thanks, mate. Take care, and I'll hopefully talk to you or see you soon. As always.
All right, sounds good.
See you guys. Bye.
Yeah.